I am going 30 days with almost no social media. I suffer from a few different chronic illnesses, connective tissue disorder, POTS, potential autoimmune, scoliosis, just different things. I feel like it was just hitting me last night how real it is that you have to live a completely different lifestyle than most people even have to think about when you are dealing with this kind of stuff. It takes a lot of time and effort, physically, mentally, and emotionally, to know all of these things that you have to avoid, all of these things that you need to do in order to be healthy. And I was thinking of it from the lens of, like, I am in and out of the chiropractor all the time, just with literally bones slipping out of place and being in chronic pain. And I was thinking, like, what am I gonna do when my specialized chiropractor isn't there for me anymore? And I started thinking, what happens, like, right now I'm 28 and I already am suffering with chronic pain so much of the time. What happens when I get older and my body continues to deteriorate more and more, as people do as they age, you know? Am I gonna be in pain all the time? Am I gonna be able to manage life? Am I gonna be able to do things like normal? Am I gonna be able to have a healthy pregnancy? Am I gonna be able to have kids and take care of them? And it was just a lot to kind of face. I feel like a lot of the time I don't like to think about it. I just like to have positive thinking, and but sometimes you just have to face the reality, or the potential reality. So that's what I was doing last night, and I turned on this Christian meditation app called Abide, and I went to the sleep stories so I could fall asleep to it and just have it speaking godly things over me as I slept, subconscious reprogramming, all of that kind of stuff. But it was just talking it was talking in the meditation about having stillness. I was just mad, I was upset, I was sad, I was scared, and listening to this made me think, I don't want to be on social media so much. I don't know how that even ties in or why. Maybe because it takes a lot of time, maybe because when you're looking at it you have bad posture, and that's one of the things I need to avoid. There's different levels to it, which I'm sure I'll discover as I go through this experiment, but I turned on my app. It's called App Block. You can pay for it and you can choose what apps it blocks. You can choose usage limits. You can choose to turn things on and off at certain times or certain days. And I already use this to have a 2.5 hour time limit every day. And then I had 4.5 hours on weekends of okay, I can have a little more time on the weekends to be on my phone. And then I have Sunday completely blocked off, but just something possessed me in this moment to go to App Block and turn on a 15-minute time use limit every day, still have Sundays off, and still have it blocked during sleeping hours. And I put it on strict mode for 30 days, meaning I physically cannot pause these restrictions, I cannot change these restrictions, I can't give myself more time, none of that. So I did the calculations today, and for the next 30 days, if I am only using social media for 15 minutes a day, that means over the next 30 days, I will use social media for 6.5 hours total. That's probably about how much most people spend on their phone on social media a day. So now I woke up this morning what did I do? But I figured I might as well just document it, because it's about my health, it's about my mental health, it's about not sitting in bad postural positions looking at my phone so much of the time, and it's also spiritual. Well, I want that stillness, I want that quiet, I want to be free of the online comparison, all this different stuff. And I do feel like it takes time away from things that I could be doing that actually benefit me and further my health journey, improve my life. I will avoid doing certain things because I want to be looking at my phone, and it's that time could be used doing other things. To go from 2.5 hours per day to 15 minutes per day, that's 14 plus extra hours per week. I don't know what I'll be doing with that time, and I guess we'll find out together. So 30 days, almost no social media. Day 1, I already noticed that I want to look at it, obviously. I like to use social media for posting more than looking at things. Usually I edit my videos on the TikTok app, and it is time consuming, and so now I have videos I know I want to post, but I don't think I'm going to be able to edit and post them within the 15 minutes. So that's something I'm thinking about, of like, I'm actually cautiously using my time on social media to be productive with. I've probably for sure wasted away at least like 5 to 10 minutes of it today, so we'll see what happens. But just come with me on this 30-day journey and let's see the difference in life, the difference in mood, and the difference in health when I'm not on social media. 15 minutes a day max. Excited to see what happens. So it's been, I think, 16 or 17 days of 15-minute max social media daily. It's been amazing. I can't say I've missed it. I do wish I had a little bit more time to actually post things. You know, I like posting to TikTok, both of my Instagrams, because that's, you know, I do run a business and it's nice to be able to post stuff for my business. And I'm doing this whole series on TikTok, but I have discovered that there's a thing called TikTok Studio. So you can actually upload and edit videos from there that's not actually on the TikTok app. So you can't just scroll through and watch videos or anything like that, but you can respond to comments, post things, edit things, whatever you need. So that's been very nice, because I'll probably keep using that instead of using the TikTok app, because I've discovered that I enjoy not scrolling. I feel like, I mean, most of my screen time now is on ChatGPT, where I'm learning things, which is nice. And then me just like editing my photos, or I spend a good amount of time on Pinterest, but I feel like that's helpful too, because I'm getting inspired, or I'm learning new things, or I'm saving pins that might help me in the future. So that's been really nice. I will say there was a day where it was after midnight and my social media popped back on because it was a new day, you know. So I had this 15 minutes and I decided to just scroll really quickly through Instagram. And in that like 2 minutes of scrolling, I saw somebody's post that made me very jealous and envious, and just like that pit in your stomach feeling of like, why doesn't that happen to me? Like, why don't I get to do this? Why don't these things happen for me? Is this not meant for me? All of that kind of stuff started going through my head just off of seeing this one Instagram post of somebody who's doing something similar to me, who got this amazing opportunity. It just made me feel terrible about myself. And so I just realized, like, even in that tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of scrolling, I subjected myself to the horrible feelings of comparison. And it sucked. And it made me emotional, and it made me feel bad about myself. And I know the quote is, comparison is a thief of joy. And I feel like that is like, maybe not the core of social media, but that's a huge part of it. And I hate comparing myself to people. So being away from that has been really nice. And I will also say being away from politics, conspiracy theories, doomsdayers, all that kind of stuff has also been really nice. Not that my mental health is fragile, but it's a little bit fragile, and I think it's probably good for me to not be watching those things all the time. Because it's like, you can choose who you follow, but in some sense you don't really have control over what comes up on your feed. Especially if you're on something like TikTok, where it's just the For You page and who knows what's gonna pop up, you know? But I have noticed that, I don't know, my time management, I don't know how different it is. Obviously it's gonna be very different because I'm not spending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours on social media a day. So I'm sure I've been more productive without even realizing it. But I've noticed also that I have started writing. And I plan on, in the future, making a website for myself and having a blog section. And I have just had the time and the attention span, I guess, to actually like process my thoughts and feelings and emotions, and to actually take the time to articulate them. And so I've actually written a few blog posts, preemptive blog posts already. And it feels really good to be writing, and I'm excited to share these blog posts with everyone. I've always loved writing. I write in my journal daily, but since 2019, when I wrote and published my book, I really haven't written at all. So that's something kind of new and exciting. I think I will keep this whole strict mode thing going indefinitely. I'm definitely gonna change the time though. I think maybe I'll give myself some more time for social media on weekends and maybe daily. I'm thinking maybe I'll increase the time from 15 minutes a day to maybe 30 minutes a day. And then on the weekends I could maybe just do 30, but also I could do like 45 or something, because it is nice to scroll and like see what people are up to, see what they're doing, but then scrolling has its downside. So I don't know if I'll even give myself 45 minutes. Something else I did notice though, this was a pretty big one, is that you start to realize like the people who you enjoy seeing on social media, and you realize, oh, I'm not seeing anything these people are doing anymore. And since there's no way to watch what they're doing and you're curious about what they're doing, I actually texted people. I texted people and I said, hey, how are you? How are things? What's going on? How's your life? Some people didn't respond. Again, I think because social media takes up so much of our mental capacity that texting back feels difficult and hard and draining. But when you don't have that social media drain, texting is your way of communication and making connections. And I honestly feel like texting would be a way better use of time than stalking somebody on social media. Because it's like you can watch someone on social media daily, but still have no idea what's actually going on in their life, which I learned was true for me. You know, I texted one of my friends and was like, how is Colorado? And she was like, I haven't lived there since January. I'm like, oh, I literally had no idea. I've been watching your social media daily, had no idea that was happening. So it's been nice to connect with people. And yeah, it just feels nice to have more bandwidth in your brain to actually do things. That is my nearly halfway update. I think I might be a little past halfway, but that is what I've learned so far and what I'm feeling so far. And yeah, I'll see you in the next update. Okay, it's been 30 days, 15 minutes of social media a day. I've got all my notes here of everything that I want to share with you, because I feel like I broke the matrix, you know? Before I started this, my limits for social media on weekdays was 2.5 hours, and on weekends was 4 hours. And I usually, like pretty consistently, would use them until the limit timer went off and like they were shut off. And I'd be like, okay, I used my amount for the day. 2.5 hours and 4 hours a day. That's so insane. So I did the math. Also, I completely blocked off all social media on Sundays. So that was a whole day where I had nothing, just as like a nice little refresh, a little Sabbath, if you will. So doing the numbers, before I did this experiment, I was spending on weekends alone, over a month, I would have spent 32 hours on social media. That's just from weekends. From weekends and weekdays put together, over a time span of 30 days, I would have regularly spent 82 hours on social media per month. Let me do the math again. How much is that? Like 82 hours? That's a full 3.5 days straight per month that I'm just on social media scrolling. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is crazy. But so after this experiment with my whole 15 minutes daily timer and no Sundays, I went from 82 hours per month to 6 hours per month total. 6 hours. Doesn't that just feel better, like hearing it? Just the sound of that is so nice. Now, I used 6 hours of a day on social media instead of 3.5 days completely on social media. So insane. So one of my notes says that I noticed while sitting next to my husband, as we both work from home, how often he gets distracted and turns on his Instagram videos. It's like every single time he were to do anything on his computer and like need to check it on his phone, or like he would finish some line of code or calculation, his immediate go-to was like, okay, now I'm gonna pick up my phone and like veg for a few minutes at least, watch some stuff, and then he'll put it down and then he'll get back to work. And I was thinking, I don't experience that anymore at all. Like, my focus is so much better. I go to work, I work on stuff, I'll do it for a few hours or until I'm like, dang, I really need to like move my body a little bit, give myself a break. But even then, it's like, I'll stand up, I'll go walk around, maybe I'll do a little mini workout, I'll go eat something, go to the bathroom. It's like, even my breaks are still taking care of myself instead of just being like, I used some mental energy for like 5 minutes, now let me look at my phone. And now I'll use mental energy for 10 minutes and now let me look at my phone. I don't have that anymore. So I'm incredibly grateful to not be chained to social media in that way. Like, it is an addiction. It is like a form of slavery, seriously. The Matrix in action. During this time, this 30 days, I had way more time to actually do things that matter. 3.5 days worth of extra time to do things that actually matter. So I went to tons of doctor's appointments, figured out a bunch of stuff for my health, did blood tests, finished a ton of stuff on my to-do list, which traditionally would take me like weeks to get through a single to-do list. And then I also took on a bunch of fun projects, like I started different scrapbooks, got really into the scrapbooking. I made homemade candles. I don't even know what else, but I just had time and it felt great. There was even a little chunk of time there where every day I would leave the house, go find a high up lookout point and watch the sunset. I would have never done that if I had access to social media. I also learned that I have ADHD tendencies. So I think the social media made that a lot worse, just like the inability to focus. But because I had extra time, I was able to go through my insurance, find a provider, talk to a psychiatrist, take some tests. And I don't have like 100% full-blown ADHD, but I am pretty strong with ADHD tendencies. So I actually got a prescription now. I don't love medicine, but there are times that I know I definitely just need that little push, if that makes sense, because they call it like executive dysfunction. I don't know. It's a struggle sometimes to just do the to-do list and everything. And the lack of social media helps, but sometimes it just, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that like after seeing this person, I could confirm myself that my whole family, except for my mom, definitely has ADHD, and we all like suffer the effects of that, you know? Just people being obnoxious or not being on time or forgetting things or whatever. Anyway, so I learned that and I was able to get myself a prescription for some medicine that I just take here and then when I know that I'm struggling and I need that extra little help. So that together with the social media is like this huge breakthrough of holy crap, I can actually focus and get things done now instead of like feeling so overwhelmed that I just crumple myself on the bed and like lay there in despair, you know? Another thing is that I'm definitely making higher quality videos now, which is awesome. The TikTok Studio app, within that 30 days, I know that in the first update, I was like, oh, there's this TikTok Studio. It doesn't have videos on it, so I can't be distracted. I'll use this for editing. Within the time, like from then till now, they did add the TikTok videos on it. So that is a source of distraction now. So instead of using the studio, I am doing all of my editing on my laptop on Adobe. And it's so much better. Like the very two first videos that I actually edited on Premiere and then posted to TikTok went semi-viral. Not that all of them have been that way, but for me, it was like, dang, that's kind of a confirmation of like, if I just take the time and energy to actually really do a good job, it pops off. Like people respond to it way better. So this is good for me because now I know to take my content more seriously, edit on something that's a little bit more comprehensive, and like it actually does translate into more views or better responses or whatever. But with that said, the importance and like the priority in my head of posting on social media has totally fallen away. Like I really needed that step back to be able to recalibrate my priorities. I didn't even realize that I was prioritizing it so much, and I didn't realize that it really didn't need to be that much of a priority. So I'm posting way less, but when I do post, it's much higher quality. So I kind of like that balance, you know? I just have realized that with my business, social media can be important and like it's good to grow organically and to reach people. But in the grand scheme of things, like my business is not social media. My business has so many other avenues to grow and to make me a profit helping people than to spend all of my time and energy on social media trying to make videos that sometimes translate and sometimes don't do anything, you know? In this time where I've had this better focus and more time and energy, I've actually been really focusing on my business, figuring out, well, I've been learning a lot about financial literacy, and it's kind of steered me in the right direction concerning my business, that social media is not the end-all be-all of getting customers or making sales. It's figuring out how to make things passive. Like, I am so focused now on passive income. And then with the extra time that I don't have to be like working in the business, I can work on the business, and then I can also do videos that I enjoy just for fun, like doing this. So yeah, I used all of this extra time and mental bandwidth to create my very first ever funnel, to create a webinar, to create just this automated system where instead of me doing everything, I have everything in place, automated emails, funnel, webinar, free downloads, everything until people get to the course and then can choose if they want to buy it or not. But I don't have to be there talking to them every single step of the way. I don't have to be there doing hour-long phone calls or like killing myself to answer DMs, which I hate doing, you know? I have this process now where I just make my money work for me. I pay for ads. The ads get people in, people go through the process, and then however many will choose to buy the course, and I make X amount of sales. And I get to be removed from the whole process where I know my business is flourishing, but I'm not killing myself doing it all. The funnel that I'm talking about is for my course, Quit Stalling Your Calling. If you're interested, I'll somehow plug it in here. Maybe I can have a little card pop down on the video, but it'll definitely be in the description. This, like making these type of videos and using my business to make passive income by helping people heal, helping people figure out why they're here on earth, how to follow God, how to hear God, how to have a larger purpose, how to live life with more intention, how to heal, all that kind of stuff. Like, that is what I feel like my calling and my purpose is. So this is just a reflection of that. If you feel like you have the same type of calling, or even if it's completely different or you're lost, definitely check that out. I think it's worth it. You don't have to buy the course, of course, but you do get an hour-long free webinar that's full of awesome information, awesome science, and you get a free PDF download too. So you don't lose anything. You have everything to gain by signing up. And then if you choose to buy the course, you can totally do that. It's an amazing discount, and you get a bunch of free stuff with it, including an ebook, access to another course for free, Facebook community, all this different type of stuff. But so I've really poured my heart and soul into this with my extra time. So that's gonna be linked in the description, maybe on the video. So I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I'm definitely using ChatGPT and Pinterest more, especially when it comes to my health. Like, I use ChatGPT to interpret all my blood tests, figure out what to say to doctors, how to write emails the right way, like communicate effectively. It's helped me find out what supplements I need, meal ideas for the things that I found out through my blood tests. Like, I actually tested positive for a nerve disease that was not on my radar whatsoever. So it's been helpful to have this kind of focus where I can ask ChatGPT personalized questions and get recommended information, rather than scrolling through Instagram and taking bits of advice that might be aimed at a completely different audience that is not me. So that's been really helpful. And then with the business thing, I've been asking it like how to make my money work for me, how to grow generational wealth, different roads for passive income, tracking taxes as an independent business owner, even down to like parenting hacks and tools for just like future reference if and when I decide to have kids, or how to give birth. And then I also use chat. Like, I've used ChatGPT so much at this point, just asking different questions and like figuring things out, that it knows a lot about me, which can be scary on one hand, but on the other hand, it knows so much about me. And so I've been able to ask it questions and have it reflect on like who I am as a person. And I started asking it questions like, based on what you know about me, what do you see in my future? And it's just been such amazing validation, and it's given me hope and encouragement of like, it's not just me imagining things about myself or about my future, but like this
artificial intelligence, based on the conversations and the questions that I've asked it, sees a certain type of future of me where like I am kind of creating a new niche of like the tie between business and spirituality and health, like how to make them all work for you, how to live a life of intention in every area. Like it told me that I'm very good at integrating things and that I think in systems, and that I'm good at not having everything be compartmentalized, and that I make everything in my life work together. My personal life, my health, my business, my finances, everything works completely together for a common goal of harmony, freedom, peace, health, well-being. It's really awesome, like what I've been able to learn from ChatGPT. Kind of scary, I get it, kind of dystopian maybe, but it's really been helpful for me. But yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, it's a lot easier to align your life with God's will when there's not 10,000 screaming voices telling you their thoughts, their opinions, what's making them angry, the news, terrible events, all this stuff that really doesn't matter. Like, to be alone in my own thoughts instead of having these random intrusions from social media, to be able to read my Bible, to pray and have that silence and stillness, like I 100% feel like I am more aligned with what God wants from me and wants for me. I am making better decisions. I'm able to be more intuitive. I am making personalized decisions based on me instead of random advice on the internet. Like now it's just me, my husband, my family, my friends, and God, like prayer in the Bible. So, something to think about. Also, when it comes to politics, I feel like that used to be something that really would catch me, would get like kind of triggered or heated, or I spent a lot of time looking into it. And I know that they're important, but it doesn't quite hold that same weight for me anymore now that I'm not constantly exposed to it. And I'm just realizing like I can't really do much of anything. I can try and be involved at the local level, but like, I don't know, that's just not me. But what I can do is live a very healthy, sustainable, intentional life that's completely aligned with my values and who I am at the core, so that I can be the most loving, the healthiest, the most compassionate, like sanctuary and safe place for the people around me, for my husband, my friends, my family. Like that is where I can make the most difference. It's not going to be in politics. It's not going to be sharing these conspiracy theories, which sometimes do help, and I will still continue doing that. But at the end of the day, it's like I need to be the best me possible to have the best effect on my husband, on our future kids, on my family and my friends, like these people that really matter. And that's the way I'm going to have the biggest ripple effect of good for the future and for other people. That is where I can make the difference. And pulling on that, when I'm being my best, healthiest self, I can help my clients. I can help people with courses that they really need so that they can be the most intentional, sustainable, compassionate, loving, peaceful, still person. Like that they can be this sanctuary and this safe space and this force of love in their own life and in the lives of people who rely on them, like their husbands or their kids, or your wives if you're a guy watching this. I serve men too, but mostly it's women, okay? So yeah, I've really been inspired to be the best me and to be intentional for the people around me and for my clients. And I will say I have gotten plenty of ideas for the future, and I'm really excited. I am kind of just testing things out in my own life for now. You got to do the experiment and see the results, you know. You can't sell something to someone if you don't think it works. So I'm testing things out for myself now, and once I know that they work, I already have in mind future courses, future ebooks I'm going to create, give to you guys, help you in such incredible ways. Think spiritual business, passive income, freedom of time, freedom of energy, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited. I'm excited for the website to be up so you guys can read the blog. I'm excited for future videos or podcasts I have coming, and I'm especially excited for this course, Funnel, the webinar. Awesome information. Definitely watch that. And I'm excited for more courses in the future and more webinars and funnels I'll be creating in the future. So it's been an amazing experiment. Now that it's over, I value my time way too much now to ever ever go back to not having time limits on my socials. I will never go back to 2 hours or 4 hours plus a day. Absolutely never. I am probably gonna do 30 minutes a day. Set the limit there, put it on freaking strict mode so I can never change it, and then just enjoy being present in life with stillness and peace and God and the spirit, and just doing things that really align with me and my heart and my soul. It feels so good to not be out of alignment with yourself and to not be letting myself down, honestly. It's like, even when I was on social media, there were things I really wanted to do, and I wouldn't do them because my time and my mental energy was so distracted. And now I can finally do these things, and I feel like I am finally coming through for myself after so much time. And I'm not willing to ever give that up ever again. So, I broke the matrix. You can break the matrix too. Download AppBlock. I believe it is a payment. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth the monetary investment and having a better life. So that's all for me. Thanks for watching. I hope that this inspired you. If you're inspired to do the same thing, let me know in the comments, like what changes for you, what you learn, or just tell me if you even think you're gonna do it at all. Thank you for watching, and there's more videos to come. Let me know what you want to see next. Bye guys.